we might be a little red here at first. Maybe I should fix it. It's kind of hilarious. It'll probably fix itself. The little redness we got going. Maybe it's your shirt that's doing
I was going to
it.
say, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Hang on, let me try to mess with it for just a second.
You going to do this on the video? This is kind of funny.
I might add just like a little title card.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there.
Oh, boom.
It's like I know how to fix it. It's just reaching up is really hard. And it was kind of funny when we were looking all red because this movie is naughty. There, all the levels should be good.
Welcome to behind the scenes.
Oh, I'm gonna cut out that just 30 seconds of silence that was on there. We ain't doing this live anymore. I want to meet whoever pitched this movie and be like, and shake his hand and be like, dude, this is a guy who went in there and just said, I got it, man. Lord of the Flies in space. Sold. Make that movie. And they did. I hope that is all Neil Berger did, who wrote and directed this film. I hope he just went in there and was like, you know Treasure Planet, right? It's like Treasure Island in space? Nah, dude. Lord of the Flies, man. On a ship.
Oh, Jesus.
On this 86-year mission to another planet. This movie is like if Summer Camp Nightmare became a franchise and suddenly there's an entry that takes place in outer space. Like it'd have a Jason X of that series. And so what Voyagers is about is they are sending people to another planet to repopulate it, because Earth's going to crap, as it always is in these kind of movies, but it's an 86-year mission, so they gotta grow their own babies, and when they reach about the age of, I don't know, 8 or so, maybe, 8 or 10, they're put on a ship with Colin Farrell to go on this, again, mission that will take 86 years to do so. And by the time they actually reach there, it'll be their grandkids who are the ones who are alive and making it to this strange planet that they have to repopulate. I have some questions. One, really, maybe you could wait about 40 years, because maybe technology will be advanced enough to where you could possibly find out more about this planet. And maybe you could get there faster, like maybe like teleportation devices will have been made in about 40 or 50 years or so, or something. Whatever, that's just small little nitpicking and stuff like that.
What did they say? What year was it that they said they found that planet at the very beginning, the blurb at the beginning?
I forget.
Because it was in the future, like it was like 40 years in the future.
No, I just mean like even waiting a little bit longer to when they started launching in space. Or at least waiting long enough for them to be like, maybe we shouldn't turn them into the village of the damned and make them utter sociopaths with this medication shit that we're giving them to drug them to remove all of their emotions, which they're doing to the kids on here. And if you are going to do that, don't make it so easy for them to find out what this drug is to where they will instantly rebel against it. There's really no need for the information about this drug that they're given to make them wildly emotionless, take away all sexual urges and everything. There's really, if that's what you are going to do to them, that's one thing. It's another to keep that information on the ship. Yeah. And if it is on the ship, maybe have more than one adult in charge. Right. Colin Farrell is the only adult put in charge of this situation. Right. And they find out the hard way that that's a bad idea, that maybe there should be more than one guy on here to control these crazy asses that have populated on this ship. Here's the thing, though. I kind of really like this movie.
Same. I didn't. It was slow to get started, but like it started getting suspenseful.
Yeah.
It was kind of action packed, and
It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, there's not a boring part of this movie.
well,
I didn't think so. I was never bored by this
Really?
because I didn't know where it was. I didn't know very much about this movie going into it.
right.
Other than it's getting bad reviews. I gotta it's not that okay. I don't know if I would disagree with what maybe a lot of the negative points are about it, because there are negative things about this
Of
movie.
of course.
But I can't sit here and lie and say that I wasn't thoroughly entertained from beginning to end of this movie. So you thought some of it was like kind of
Like at the beginning, it was just kind of like dragging on, like, you know, Colin Farrell saying, I want to go up with kids and all this other stuff. I mean, I was actually for a while thinking, wow, this porn parody just kind of writes itself.
Yeah. I wasn't during that point. I mean, it's during that point where I was going, a lot of this is so not making any sense. This is, they put the world's dumbest organization in charge of saving humanity. Why? Why are you doing it like this?
Yeah.
All right, well, it's making an interesting movie. And then when, as soon as they stop taking this drug that they're drinking, the blue is what they call it, they just instantly become raping machines.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's crazy. They just start getting in fights, start like groping the other girls on the ship.
Yeah.
And they do it with these cutaways. There's some questionable editing in this where as soon as like the guy touches Lily Rose Depp, dude, they might as well throw in the stock footage of the train going through the tunnel and rocket ships blasting off. Every innuendo shot you could think of. And it does this so many times.
No, you know what that reminded me of?
Yeah.
A 5 Gum commercial.
It reminded me of Deep Throat. They do that in Deep Throat when she first hears the bells. The gum commercial. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
where they choose what it's like to chew 5 gum, and then there's like hair standing up.
That is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're exactly right. Only if it was way hornier. But other than that piece of editing, which I really could have done without, I thought it was a good-looking movie.
Yeah,
the
same.
Cinematography I thought was
Same.
wildly solid.
Yeah.
And why I didn't mind the build up from pacing wise, like you were talking about earlier, is because at least this movie, whatever flaws you have with it, it really is telling a story with these characters, with an arc, versus what we saw last week with The Unholy. There's really no cheap jump scares in this.
No?
It really lets these moods happen, and it does so with its cinematography, with its characters, with, man, they do gorgeous camera work in these hallways in it, where there's these chase scenes through these very narrow hallways with these blues and reds and color schemes they're using. It's well done in the tension department. Because I thought it was a very suspenseful movie.
I completely agree with you.
I was wondering where we would fall on this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we disagree on this.
Now here's the thing is that, like, when I walked out of the theater, I was just kind of like, I'm kind of torn, because the pacing at the beginning was kind of slow, but you're right, the payoff. The payoff was great. The payoff was fantastic. I will say, I do want to comment that there was a section in the middle of the second act that kind of felt like Among Us the movie.
Among Us? What's that?
Oh, you haven't played Among Us? It's
no.
Oh man. It's a game where you're a space crew member.
Okay.
and you basically have to figure out who's the imposter. And you should.
I know the type of thing that you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Because they do they kind of play with the genre a little in this, where like they're making you. Other characters are manipulating the others and thinking they're in an alien movie.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
They're kind of playing with each other's paranoia and turning them against each other. And I like the acting.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was solid.
And that's how you play Among Us too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. I enjoyed that about the movie. It's like it turns into like the world's most dangerous frat house that you're stuck in outer space.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they go off this shit, they are like
they're
banging, wrestling, like having food fights.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I did have a really good time with this, but when it was getting into that stuff about it, whether it was the sex part of it, because you do have all of these characters discovering their sexuality on this ship, there's a lot of provocative things in this movie that the movie does hold back on quite a bit. Like, it's something with this plot and factoring in things like sex and violence, I would really love to have seen what this would have been like about 30 or 40 years ago if they made this movie.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
You see what I mean? Like, especially if you had someone like a David Cronenberg doing this.
Yeah.
Because as it is, I did really enjoy this movie, but I was constantly thinking in my head, like, they are pulling back a lot in a lot of departments because it is a very mainstream movie. It's a PG-13.
Right.
It's what could have been like an A+ movie you might have seen about 40 years ago.
Yeah. Like an R-rated.
Yeah, is instead a very above average, kind of borderline YA movie.
Yeah. Or honestly, back then, there was a lot of shit that would go on and you'd still get a PG-13 rating.
There was. The airplane's a PG, and that's... Well, same with 16 Candles, full frontal and everything. So, yeah, maybe if it had PG-13 back then, it might have had a lot more nudity. So, I would have liked to have seen maybe a more independent movie version of this where they really would sink their teeth in and go no holds barred and really just balls out with this film. But as it is, I thought it was suspenseful. I thought it was well acted, and I was crazy entertained throughout this. I thought the ending was silly.
Like we weren't really all that invested in the journey. We were more invested in the characters on the ship.
And because of the characters on the ship too, when there is the resolution of all the stuff that was going on with those characters, it's resolved pretty fast compared to what all came before then. I don't want to spoil it, but it seems like it would be much harder to get things back to normal than just simply getting rid of one particular element, considering what some of the other characters were doing and going along with.
Well, I mean, the influence.
I know that there is that.
Yeah.
But what they do kind of at the end is just, yeah, there is the influence, and I certainly get that. But there would still be that element there to the point to where it would take a little bit longer, I think, to get things back to normal than just saying, well, this has been taken care of, so things are good now. Considering what this group has done to other characters in the film.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I now I see what you mean. Yeah, that did. You're right. That did kind of seem like it was like it's over, and it's like
oh, we're not done yet, son of a bitch. What grade would you give?
Oh, why would you make me go first?
You want me to go first?
No, I'll B minus.
Yeah. Man, for entertainment value, I'm like way up there. But there is a lot of flaws about the movie. There are a lot of things that make no sense about it.
Right.
You could poke holes in so much stuff in this movie. But it again, sometimes I just don't care. Like it's a good enough ride.
Right. Yeah.
And that's my case with this movie. This is the kind of movie like. Man, like, I wish Sarah was also here reviewing this movie with us. She'd be loving this. She would be eating this up like we are too. Like, she would be digging the hell out of this. I'm gonna text her later on and be like, I don't know if you guys are going back to the movies or not, but if you do, go see Voyagers. I think you'll really, really, really get a kick out of this. I'm going to give it, I'll give it a B.
B. Okay.
Yeah, I am on the verge of a B plus. I'm on the verge of giving it a B plus, but there is a lot of dumb things about the movie. But
for me, it was like I was like B, C, B, C.
I would never give it a C. No. No, I think we're in a small boat on this movie.
Yeah.
Because the reviews for it are pretty bad. But I'm like, I don't care.
That's unfortunate.
I'm like, I don't care. Like, I hope there's an uncut version that gets released out on video.
That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah, this is like something I would have discovered like late at night on cable television.
Could you imagine
in the
this?
90s. Could
Could you imagine this, like, if it was made like, say, American Pie or
like it's like a thriller frat movie is what it is on a spaceship. Again, I have so much respect for this movie. I have so much respect for Neil Berger for pitching this. I do. All the respect in the world for this. You know what? Because of that, yeah, I will bump it up to a B+.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I will. I got a kick out of this movie, man. Yeah, I wish it was I wish it was darker, yeah, but also more brutal and ruthless.
Yeah.
I do. But I still respect the hell out of it.
Right.
I really, really do. So that's Voyagers. So did you like it better than The Unholy?
Oh, God, yeah.
Lord of the Flies in space. It exists. Go see it. See it.